Hello, lovelies. So this is my first unconventional attempt of doing a tutorial. I've had a few people really like that sweater that I made, so I'm making another one. And I figured I'd attempt anyway to try to do it on here for you. I do not know how to follow patterns yet, and I do not know how to write patterns. This is how I write patterns. I write down what yarn I'm using, which I hope you could see this because this tutorial thingy that's holding the phony thingy is all new to me. So just bear with me as you do on every video. So I truly appreciate that. Yeah, I'm using a 6 bulky weight. And on the one that I made with the green, I'm using the anniversary cake. I hope that's in the middle there for you. Doing a purple one. The other one was green. This is a 6 bulky. It has over 1,000. Let's try doing it this way. Okay, so there's somewhere here. Okay, here we go. There's 1,061 yards. And the one that I made was, I'm going to say like probably a large size. I'm a medium small, and I like mine a little bigger. So if you've seen it in the other video, you know, it's more like a large than it is small. And it went to the middle of my calves, and the sleeves are bulky and long. So I used almost all of this. So I was probably about 1,000 yards that I used. That one I did, the stitch was a double crochet stitch. The purple one that I'm making today is going to be a half double crochet. So I do have 2 skeins of this purple, and I'm probably going to be delving into this other, you know, the other extras, hank of, or whatever you call it. Jeez, Louise. Anyway, the other cake of the anniversary cakes. Let me put my teeth back in. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm so sorry. I'm such a mess. I didn't really plan this out, so I'm just winging it as usual. All right, so 6 bulky weight. You probably, if you're going to do a double crochet, you probably are good with just 1,000 yards. If, like I'm doing this one here, is going to be a half double. So I'm going to probably use more. I may not make it as long as the green one, or I may, I don't know. All right, so basically I got a 6 bulky weight that I'm using. The hook I'm using is this, kind of cool. Since I filed it down, it doesn't stick as bad. 11.5 millimeter. I do not know what number that is. This is from Lion's brand. I forgot the name of it. Okay, and you're going to make 3 panels. You can a back panel and 2 front panels. 80 chain 8. I did 80. Again, what I would recommend and how I do it is crochet the chain, hold it up to your shoulder, just being mindful that when you do put a stitch in it, it might scrunch it up a little bit. So get it to where about the length you want it. So I'm doing 80. You could do whatever's comfortable for you. And I wrote double crochet, but I'm actually I'm gonna do this with a half double because the double crochet was really awesome and, you know, comfy, but not as warm as I would have liked. So this one's going to be a little bit warmer because it's freaking cold around here, trust me. And the coal stove's not on, so my hands are even cold, and I'm upstairs with the pellet stove in the great room. Anyway, excuse the dogs and cats because the littlest stray that we just found is apparently in heat, and she's just disrupting the entire home 24/7 with crying and all that. And she's got an appointment to get fixed and all that because I feel so badly when female cats are in heat. They must be absolutely miserable. And she makes us miserable while she's doing it, but it's more for her than us. Okay, so back to this. So this is pretty much the diagram that I draw out. I'm more of a visual learner and doer. That's why patterns just intimidate me to no end. Anything math related intimidates me to no end. And I just kind of drew out my 2 front panels, which is 80, chain 80. And you can go the rows, 10 to 12 rows. I'm probably going to go closer to 12 rows on the front as of now, because of being a smaller stitch, the half crochet. But I'm going to start on the back panel. This way, when I do my front panels, I can lay them on top and see, you know, if I need to make more rows on these. Remembering that when you're doing this, around the edge, from the back of this, and going around and going down and around, and then go around the back and then up and down and around, this is going to be trimmed. So you are going to be gaining, you know, some width in the fronts. So to accommodate for any female boobage. Anyway, yeah, so slip knot. I don't know how you guys do it. That's how I do it. And then it's a matter of chaining 80. And I'm not going to make you sit here and listen to me watch me chain 80 and listen to me count. So I'm going to chain 80, and then you get to 80, and I'll be right back. Let me just see if I pause this without, let's see, what button do I hit? I think I hit, oh good, I'm back. I paused it properly. Yay me. All right, so I chained 80. Oh, lordy. And that's kind of a lot. That's long. It's going to be long. But I like it that way. If you don't want it that long, make it 40. Make it whatever. There's no count on these. There's no pattern. It's just simple stuff. So we're going to do half double crochets on this one. So when you finish your 80, you do the one, the chain 1 and turn your work. Just one thing that I did do on them is when you're turning your work, make sure that turn is a little bit loose, because you don't want the bottom of your sweater to be scrunched in. And you're going to be adding a trim around the edge, so it'll look fine. So I'm going to, make that. So I'm going to do it, just go back through the 80. With the double crochet, or half double crochet, sorry. Always the first row is the hardest, but I'm going to go back to the other end, and you don't have to watch me do this. Like I said, this is just a unconventional tutorial, and maybe I'll learn how to do real tutorials, who knows. So you just keep going, and then you go to the other end, turn around. Like I said, I did on the other one, and on this one I'll probably do like 30 rows going across the back panel. If you see here, and I'll get to it if I do get this far in this tutorial thingy, I just show like the X's going up. That's when when you're finished with all 3 of your panels. You're going to attach the tops to this, always attaching in the back, or the other side, the inside, I'm sorry. The inside, the cats just were attacking each other there. Inside, and you're going to leave a space here, a little space there for the neck. But again, remember, you're going to be trimming all the way around, so that's going to get tighter, but that area, the more you put there, the more it's going to climb up on your neck, and then you can also fold it out if you'd like to do that. So this, you're going to do the tops first, then stitch from the bottom. Always, I always start attaching from the ends, going in. This way, if you count and then you get down here and you're wrong, at least if you go from the very end going into that part, if you're off a little bit here, it's not going to be noticeable, and you can accommodate that with trim or whatever, but it's not going to be as noticeable as if you're lost a stitch and you're down the end there, because that's going to make it wobbly. And then the same thing here, and then you're going to go from the bottom once your tops are attached. So it would be like here and here. Once your tops are attached, or front panels, then I stitch from the bottom going up, leaving me whatever I feel will be large enough for a sleeve. And I like to make the sleeve a little bit larger here. Like this is going to be the sleeve. I like it a little bit roomier in this connection, so it's not tight putting it on. I think that's a mistake that some people make, making it too tight here, because you can always decrease your sleeve going out. So this way you have more room. It's not all bunched up under your arm. You know what I'm talking about. You can move your arms around. If you talk with your hands, you have, you know, you could use your whole arm. So I'm going to go down this row and back and forth until I get to, well, we'll see. I think I'm guessing around 30 rows would be good. So I will be back. If you're still here, hey, thanks for staying here. Bye. I mean, hold on. Okay, I'm back. Alrighty, so I did the back panel, which is pretty wide. So this is definitely going to be like a large. And I used up a fair amount of, I'm going to say at least half, or maybe just under half of the cake. So I definitely am going to be delving into the other cake for the sleeves. And so I'm glad I did this one with having two cakes. One thing I did want to point out that I do, these are just things that I do and get dog hair. You know, when you have a house of, I should change my house to the animal shelter. I have a house of animals, so it's very difficult to get my hair and animal hair not on my stuff. I think I might designate a one room, no animals, just for me to crochet. So that might be in the up and coming future. Anyway, what I was going to say is you don't have to do this. I do this because of the fact that I don't know what I'm doing. So when I get to the end of the rows, because you're starting with the chain that you're not counting. Okay, so this is 30 rows of my half doubles. All right, so here I'm finishing my 30 rows of my half doubles, hopefully. And yeah, and that's cats running and playing if you hear them. So here's my and I really, at the ends, like I said, I like to pull that out and then pull it through, so I have extra give here on the bottom. Because if you don't pull that and you make that tight, then it just crunches the bottom. So that's my 30 rows. But wait, I'm doing more. Okay, I'm gonna finish it, and I've never seen anybody else do this, and oh my gosh, it's literally my hair tangled in here. All right. I mean, if it's just for me, I don't mind the hair on it because it's going to get hair on it anyway, but if I'm making it for somebody else, it's definitely going to be a designated room. So the last row, instead of leaving it like that, I'm going to finish it off, not included on the 30 rows, mind you, because your chain is not included, and this last row is not included. I chain one, and then I'm going to just loosely single crochet the end. I don't know why I do this. It just creates a more symmetrical, symmetrical look, I guess. I don't know. But that's what I'm going to do there. I'm going to just go single crochet, and again, a little bit loosely because you're doing a tighter stitch with this one. Yep. Yeah, anniversary cake, the first sweater I did, I had quite a few. I'm going to say probably 5 to 7 knots in it. This one, I think I might have had 1 knot. Geez, already I can't remember. As you well know, I have memory issues, amongst many other issues. Join the club, right? Anyway, so single crocheting all the way down, and then I'm going to leave a little bit of a tail. Also, what I do when I'm crocheting, because I don't think anybody likes tying in ends. So I try to stitch in as many ends as possible during the process of making the item. So you don't have a lot to do at the end. Oh, almost did a double. You don't have a lot to do at the end. So I won't bore you with this, but what I'm going to do is finish this back panel up, shake it, get some of the hair off, fold it, and put it aside, and then I'm going to start the next two panels, which I'm going to turn the camera off and then hopefully be able to edit. I don't know how to edit, so I did figure out in that cut video whatever thing, like the hands, squirrel, I can join videos together. So I did figure that out. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to turn this off, go sit more comfortably because I'm sitting on a stool crocheting and it's not doing very good for my back. So I'm going to go sit in a comfortable chair, crochet the two front panels, same thing, 80 long, and I'm going to go maybe 10 or 12 across. I don't know yet. And then also finish the end row with a single crochet, and I'll be back, and I'm going to turn this off so I can actually be on my phone while I'm doing it. All right, I'll be back, guys. Love you. Hello again, lovelies. Well, for you it's been a New York minute, and for me it's been several days. I just had this sitting waiting to get back to it and just haven't, but I've had a few other people when I was reading comments today mention they would like to see a video or tutorial of this sweater, so let's try to finish it. I actually in the meantime started making a green sweater with the puzzle yarn I just got, so that's coming out pretty cool. I'm giving that to my mother-in-law. Anyway, I did finish these are the two front panels. I went 80 length, like I said before. There's all animal hair on here. And instead of doing the 10 or 12 across of rows for the each front panel, I did 15. Because if you look, this back piece that's laying here, and I can't see the whole thing because of my inadequate tutorial stuff, but it almost goes. If I put these to the end, I have about this much space in between. So when I'm doing that around thing that I explained, that'll give me more rows in the middle here. Okay, so basically, so I don't really need the pad and pen unless, well, maybe I will. All right, so what I'm going to do, so basically now you've got your two front panels, which are, oops, sorry about the lisp, 80 stitches up and down, and what I did was 15 stitches across. And remember, I didn't, because you'd start with the chain, I added that chain there, which is not included in the 15. So now, and then we get the back panel. Let me just draw that out. I hope you could see this. I'm not really in the groove to do this today. So now what I'm going to do is go from the ends, like I said before, going in. I'm going to attach, and then this end here, I'm going to attach these to here, to the back panel. And then the other one will go here. All right, is that, let me look and see if that's, oh, that's on there, I guess. Okay, so that's what's good. So it's going to be flappy looking, so it's going to end up looking like this. And these are going to be attached there, and these are going to be attached there. So there's a couple ways you could do this. You could, oh, the cat is jumping on the end table, so now you're shaking. Sorry. I'm so glad that Rusty, come on, get out of my coffee. Rusty rescued this. Go. Okay, sorry for the interruption. Okay, so as far as attaching pieces together, I know of, and again, like I said, this is so unconventional because I really am new to crochet and yarn art. You can chain stitch them together if you like. You could slip stitch them together, or you could sew them in with, let's see, do I have Yeah, you could sew them in with, you know, one of your darning needles. It's all up to you. The only thing that I recommend is not doing it too tightly. So I crocheted the sweater with the, I think it's 11 and a half. Yep, 11 and a half. But I'm probably going to do the stitching together with a little bit thinner. This is an 8mm, only because it's easier to get in and out of the holes, spaces, whatever. And I will also be very mindful to make them looser stitches because of that, because you don't want to attach them tightly and then they're going to scrunch up, unless you want that look, which that might have just solved an issue. I might have just, thank you guys, you didn't even realize that. You might have solved an issue for me. So what I'm going to do, and I'm not going to bore you with it because like I said, this is unconventional. I'm going to move that stuff, and I'm going to take these end panels, and it doesn't matter what side or what end or whatever because they're all the same, but I'm just for the sake of now, I'm going to, the two starts are going to go on the outside of, oh, hold on here, what's happening? Okay, oh my gosh, the hairs. Okay, so the two, we got that side here, and I'm going to stitch. I will probably tie these two pieces together, and then when I'm attaching, and I'll probably do it with a single crochet. The reason being is because when you single crochet, you can sew in your ends, and like I said earlier, no one wants to sew in ends. So I'm going to attach this panel to that, and then the next panel I will do the same. Actually, there's more of a space in between than I thought. Wow, look at that space in between. Oh well. And then I'm going to attach this and go in on this side, and I will probably do a single crochet on that as well. Then the next step is, once your sides are your top shoulder are attached. That was not grammatically correct. Oh, don't tell me I did it again on this one. Oh, I did a sweater the other day, and one of the front panels, I was off by 5 stitches, and so upset, and I think I might have done it. I don't know if I did it, or probably, I don't know. It looks like it's uneven here, but when I count the stitches, it'll probably be fine. This has just been this single crochet I did too tight. That's what it is. See how that's loose, and this part's loose and that part's tight. So I don't know what to do about that. Well, I'll figure it out. It'll be fine. And I'm going to do up the sides. So what I do for the sides, I'm doing this on a very small piece of wood, so with a very large object. So assume that these two are attached together, and this is the sides. I'm going to start from the bottom to sew it up. But before I do that, I'm going to count down evenly on my stitches on the front panel and the back panel, and I'm going to count down the stitches till I get to maybe, I don't know, this is a very thick yarn. I did a loose stitch. I like the area around the armpit to be loose. Makes it more like a sweater shirt type, robe type thing. And I'm going to probably go down 15 to 17 stitches on each side. So I'll end up with like 32-ish, you know, and that should be big enough for a sleeve. So once I figure out counting down, I'll put a stitch marker to both of them, and then go to the bottom and start from the bottom and do the same whatever stitch, going up all the way until I get to, like I said, this is a very long sweater. It's probably going to be down to the ground, all the way up to where I come to there. And I'm going to do the same amount on the other sleeve, the other side. And once that's done, which I'm not going to bore you with watching me do that, because I want to sit on the bed and do it and watch TV. Once that's done, basically all I do at that point is, assuming that these pieces are attached, and this would be the outside the wrong side of the item. I will turn it right side out, tie the thread at the connection of the underarm, and then I'll do a single crochet all the way around, chain one, then into that same stitch, I was doing half doubles on this. I'll do half doubles, and I have to count them because I lose count. I can't concentrate enough to count. Sometimes I'll put like a stitch marker up top and then count halfway, and then make sure that the other half is the same. And I've done it a few other sweaters, so in the interim of this video, so I did figure out that if you do mess up on one and you got one extra stitch or one less stitch, when you count, just add that stitch on the underarm, or eliminate that decrease on the other underarm, because who's going to be looking at your underarms? Hopefully nobody. I know no one wants to look under my underarms. Anyway, so that's basically it. And then I do the half doubles like that, chain one, until I get it to probably the elbow part of your arm. And if it is a larger, if this area that you crocheted is larger than you want at your sleeve, then I'll decrease it. And instead of like when I do the slip knot chain and then double crochet into that same spot, instead of doing that, I'll double crochet into the next spot. And then once I get that around to like maybe 30, I find to be good for me, then I will stop with the slip stitch and I will just chain in the round. And I chain in the round 30 stitches, and I do both sleeves simultaneously because of the whole counting and whatnot for me. So I do them simultaneously, which is super because I have two skeins of this. When I don't have two skeins, I crochet from the center pole and I crochet from the outer part of it. So when I get it to about here, somewhere around here, and now mind you, I'm going 30 in the round down the arm to about where the cuff is going to be. Then for the cuff, I'll just switch over to a single crochet for a couple rows, and that'll even make this area a little bit tighter. So this way I have a lot of room on the armpit, room at the elbow area decreased, and then a little bit, at the thing, at the whatever this is again. I just said it. Wrist. Hello. Anyway, so I apologize for I'll do other tutorials that are be hopefully more understandable. But what a lovely, oh my gosh, these are so fabulous. And this is, like I said, the anniversary cake, and I did one in the puzzle yarn. Hold on one hot sec. I was going to show you. So this is the puzzle yarn, and it really works up very similarly. Again, hairs. And this is the green one that I'm working on. And I'm to the sleeves now. Actually, I could show you. Let me get this out of the way. I could show you what I did on this one. All right, so hold on. Okay, so here is the side stitch, the panel, the front panel and the back panel. I did a single crochet from bottom up to the sleeve. Okay, and you don't see the hole there because I've already started the sleeve. Then turn it in. Once the top and sides are done, turn it right side out. I knotted at the connection under the arm, did a single crochet, and then this is also a double crochet, a half double crochet, I'm sorry. And then half double crocheted all the way down. And now, see how it's a little bit smaller here? Now I'm working in the round. So I went, probably to thereabouts. You don't even really notice it. It's very transitional. And this arm, one of the arms is ready to start with a single crochet. The other arm, I need to do like 2 more rows on, and I don't know which was which, and whatever. But then, once that's done, then I got threads here, so this is still being worked on. All right, so then this is my little ball of yarn here. I go to the center of the back panel. So here's our two sleeves. Here's our back panel. I go to the center of the back panel. Somewhere here, I tied in, oh, maybe I started, no, that's the shoulder. Anyway, I tied it in. All right, so I go to the center, I just tie 2 knots, and then start here and single crochet around the back of the neck. I'm going halfway now, back of the neck, over the shoulder, down the front panel, chain, go in that corner piece, do a stitch, chain 1, and in that same corner piece, do another single crochet, and that gives you that nice straight edge, so it keeps it, keeps it even. And then on the bottom, single crochet, and I do this again loosely, but not super loosely, because you want this to pull in just a little bit, because this stitch is way loose. This stitch is a tighter stitch. So loosely enough where it's not looking crunched, but not so loose where it's looking floppy. And then go all the way to the bottom of the back. This is all the bottom of the back. And this is probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times around on this one. And then to the sides, and then it's curled a little bit. I don't do that, what do you call that, blocking? I probably should, like something like this probably should be blocked, but by the time I'm done with this, the last thing I want to do is fuss with ends and blocking. And then again, at the next front panel front, in that very corner, I do the 1 crochet, single crochet, a chain, and in the same thing, a single crochet, which again gives you that nice tight edge. That's the only part of the trim that's, you got to be mindful of. And then all the way back up to the other side of the front panel, and then back to the center. So the reason this is hanging is because I don't know, on here, I'm making this one for my mother-in-law, the green one, I think I mentioned that. And I need to try it on to make, she's a little bigger than I am. She's been a little more blessed in the womanhood area than I have been, and I want to make sure it's going to fit her. So I've left this so I can, when I'm done, I could try it on and see if it needs more. And I probably will go around, like with the pink sweater that I made, if you notice, that is what I had done was on a trim, and I don't know where the pink sweater is to show you, but in each stitch, now these are all single crocheted. In each stitch, I did a chain 1, a double, no, I'm sorry, my bad. Chain 1, half double, chain 1 in the same stitch, skipped 1, and in the next stitch, chain 1, double, chain 1, skip a stitch, chain 1, double, chain 1, and it gave it kind of a picot look. And that's also an option. I mean, you could do whatever you want on it. It's your sweater. I'm just kind of showing you how I put these big flumpy things together. Anyway, I hope that was not complete. Oh my God, I'm wrapped up like crazy here. Hope that wasn't completely horrible. And I'll get better, I promise. I hope I will anyway. Hey, I love you guys. My 2 favorite colors, green and purple. Aren't they great? It's prosperity and abundance. That's, well, if you believe in that stuff. It could mean anything you want. Anyway, love you guys.